Hello and welcome to lesson number 56. So good to have you back here. Let's go through this review session. We are looking at the lessons 26 to 30 today, and there has been a lot of good stuff in it. If you saw my video from yesterday, I told you about my experience with working with some mantras of the text itself or of the lessons over the last week or so. And to be honest, today I did a little bit something similar. I actually applied one of the sentences again as a mantra for today, but I actually used it as well in a situation that was a little bit more difficult, which I found really cool. It was a fantastic experience. And the sentence that I'm talking about is in the first one, so in lesson 26, where it talks about that my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. And the sentence is number 5, yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. Perfect security and complete fulfillment. So I took these two things, and at the beginning of the day I used them as my mantra. On my drive to work, I even try to feel into how would it feel like if I would felt perfect security. And I did that as well with the complete fulfillment. Did I really get very far? To be honest, no. I did not really create this whole bubble of having that feeling or that experiencing of perfect security or complete fulfillment. But I worked on it, right? It's step by step. It's a practice that we have to go through. So the situation then came later in the day, just around lunchtime, where I had to hold a presentation via a conference call, so a video call. It wasn't in person, but I still had to hold the whole conversation and the presentation. And it was a bit of a crucial conversation, a tricky subject. It could have gone far worse. And then at a moment where it started to get a bit icky and sticky, I had a colleague, my boss's boss, actually taking over and try to explain what was happening. And in that moment where I had a spare few seconds to deal with it, I actually stepped into the role of observing myself and recognizing that I was getting rattled up, a little bit anxious, a little bit worried about this not going as well as I hoped. So I actually used the words perfect security. I actually sat there, I took a breath, and I actually said, I am in perfect security. And I calmed down so nicely. I'm still actually amazed by that this situation has happened and that the thought came to my mind to use perfect security. But it was so beautiful and magical, and it actually worked so well. And it was a perfect situation, right? I started to feel insecure about what was happening. I started to have attack thoughts and emotions that are not the best ones to have. So it was just perfect. And then afterwards, actually, the whole 2-hour meeting went so smoothly and so much better than we actually expected. And I don't know if it was because of that, but I want to believe that me managing myself, becoming the observer and actually regulating myself and using as well something from the lessons helped. And as you can see, I'm still amazed. I still love that happened. So for me, in the last 24 hours or throughout the day, the sentence, yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance, was the most important. Other sentences or other parts that I reflected on mainly this morning that really spoke to me was one time the third part, so the 28th lesson, which says, above all else, I want to see differently. It was the last sentence. So of course the lesson beforehand, the 27th, speaks to that as well. Above all else, I want to see. And then the next one is just a continuation. But really the last sentence spoke to me in that paragraph, which is, I would let the door behind this world be open for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. So this morning when I reflected on this, I literally tried to visualize a door being there that I could open, and I wouldn't know obviously how it would look like on the other side because I haven't experienced it yet. But just this visualization of an actual door, it's like, yes, just please let me have that door and step through it from the world that I see now to a world that I see then, which reflects the love of God. So I really like that one. And then the last lesson that I took something away from was the 5th one, which is the 30th lesson. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. And it was just the first sentence, a little part of it, that really spoke to me. And the first sentence is, in my own mind, behind all of my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. And the word that really spoke to me was separation, because in the last few weeks, whenever I focused as well on my thoughts, and I spoke about this in the last few review sessions already and reflections videos for you, I always focused or associated those thoughts with false thoughts or attack thoughts. And actually this one reminded me to think as well in another category, which is the separation thoughts. And I think that really spoke to me and was really important for me to add to my repertoire of identifying the thoughts that I'm having and saying, okay, that was an attack thought. Yeah, don't need that anymore, don't want that anymore. Or, well, this one is a false thought. It just displays or makes me think something that is not true, that is not real, and that is false. Doesn't have to be yet an attack thought. Not in my mind. That's how I do make a distinction between them. But then there are as well the separation thoughts, which is a really good category to put some of the thoughts in as well, especially the ones where we just feel so disconnected, so by ourselves. Exactly how it describes in the text, that we are just not one and that we are not connected. And I think there are so many thoughts that if we would actually analyze them and actually truly look at them, they would fall into the category of separation thoughts. So I'm actually adding this to my list, attack, faults and separation thoughts, and gonna work more on that as well, identifying them. Because if I can identify them for myself, I am out of them. I am just the observer of those thoughts, and then I can actually do something with them. If I know what they are, I can stop them. I can let go of them. I can not have them anymore, right? They have to come to your conscious, and this is just another way of helping me to identify those. So a lot of stuff that has happened today in relation to the workbook, to the lesson 56. Let me know in the comments what your experience was. What did you like the most? What spoke to you the most? Or what maybe triggered something inside of you in today's review lesson? I would love to hear from you, so let me know in the comments. And I will see you again tomorrow for lesson 57. Until then, love you and bye-bye.